Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Warning: this video will contain spoilers for Season 1 of the 2024 Secuoya Studios Zorro. Viewing beyond this point is done at your own risk. I take no responsibility for your decision. Thank you, and please have a nice day.
Hello and welcome to this video. I hope everyone is doing well. Hope the world is treating them good. Today we are going to be talking about the 2024 Secuoya Studios TV series Zorro. It is an interesting take on the Zorro mythos. It was filmed in Spain, filmed in Spanish, and dubbed into English. The English dubbing is pretty good. It was brought to America by Amazon Prime, and it first premiered on January 19th, 2024. Excuse me, I gave you the wrong information. It premiered on Amazon Prime in America on January 25th and in Latin America on January 19th. It was filmed in the summer of 2022 and premiered in Spain in early 2023. And it follows your standard Zorro plot. Rich, aristocrat, father gets killed, and some iterations, both father and mother. In this particular iteration, the mother has died before, and the father gets killed in the first episode. Diego de la Vega is our hero. He's in Spain at the time of the death, which he learns later his father got murdered. And his journey to become Zorro. It is interesting. This show, or this iteration of Zorro, incorporates a lot of things that you don't get in many of the other interpretations of the legend or the mythos. It is set in 1834 in California, and it's still property of Mexico. And one of the things that I find that they lean into, and it's good that they lean into it, is the fact that in Mexican-held territories and Spanish-held territories, slavery had been abolished. America still had slavery, but this is set before California becomes part of the Union. It also leans into Zorro coming out of the Native American mythos. There's a large a huge embracing of the Native American traditions, their role in the legend. They lean into it. However, if you look at it historically, they take a lot of liberties. It's a Spanish it is a modern Spanish interpretation of 1830s American Native Americans. So, like I said, they take some liberties. The actors and actresses do a damn good job. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce their names because, like I said, they are Spanish. And my wife can rattle them off just boom, 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 boom. I can't. It's just my tongue doesn't work that way. I imagine I could probably learn to do it. But it is what it is. It has the love story in it. It also brings in a strong female. The character of Lolita Marquez is... They make her a much stronger character. If you've seen the American movies with Banderas, Antonio Banderas, that particular character, they do a half-assed job with it. And they I believe it's played. The character in the the Banderas movie is they kind of Mary Jane her, whereas in this iteration, you get enough backstory that she has earned her place. She has earned her badassery, and it is. Like I said, she's earned it. She's a rich girl, daddy's girl, free, independent, kind of been half-assed living off the land. Unlike the Banderas movie, she's not a badass swordsman. She's not. She's pretty good with a gun, a pistol, and a rifle. She's good with. She's passable with the sword, and that's and they make a more believable character. And like I said earlier, in the Banderas movie, they kind of Zorro's love interest. They kind of Mary Sue the hell out of her. So 6 one way, half a dozen the other. I know a lot of women that get moist when they even say Antonio Banderas, they get moist, but it is, and that movie is an American movie. You can tell that's an American because of all the American contrivances in it. This one, you have me and my wife watched it, and my wife went back and watched it in Spanish. She turned the dubbing off and watched it and listened to it in Spanish. She said that the dubbing, there's a couple areas that the translations they played fast and loose with to make it more palatable for the American audience, for white people. But for the most part, the dubbing is fairly accurate. From what my wife was saying, that they make her the Zorro's love interest in this iteration they make her fairly strong. Very out of character, not historically accurate. Women of that time period, but it's a fictional show. It's a fantasy. And this is, I think this is where they build a lot of love interests in your superhero comics, is based off the dynamic of the Zorro and having a strong love interest. And most of the iterations, if you go through, his love interest is always a fairly strong female, except maybe in the Disney series, when the Disney did a serial, I want to say 60s, maybe 50s. It was something that was rerun as a kid. When I was a young kid, they had it like constantly in reruns on the different channels, especially on the weekends. So yeah, that one not so much. Disney basically made the Zorro's love interest a screamer, yeller, getting captive. And then this particular telling of the story, we've only got season 1. I think they're filming season 2 now, and won't be in America till maybe late 2025, early 2026. But that is part of how modern streaming goes. Modern TV shows are made. But they make her fairly strong. You have the captain of the militia, he's loyal to Mexico. And for the first part of the first season, he kind of blindly follows the governor. And the governor is a corrupt, very, very corrupt. He's dealing through the back door with the Russians, who actually historically at this time had control of Alaska and were trying to weasel their way into California. I don't remember my history enough to say if California went from Russian hands to Spanish hands, then into Spanish, then Mexican, then American, or if the Russians were somewhere in there. I do remember from history, though, the Russians and the Spanish did a lot of, diplomatic stuff, had some trade going. Russians were trying to weasel their way into Spain, or not Spain, into California. And they kind of lean into it. And they do it really, really well. One of the big landowners is having an affair behind his wife's back with one of the Russian diplomats, wife, girlfriend, whatever, and it's interesting. And the wife finds out about it, but instead of divorcing him, she falls in league with the female Russian character, and they wind up murdering him together. And they kind of get a pseudo, it's more through implication than anything else, that they kind of start doing the lesbian thing. And like I said, it is a very interesting take on Zorro. They're leaning into the Native Americans, leaning into how the oppression of the Native Americans. The fact that they also lean into the fact that Spain and Mexico had already abolished slavery, and there's one of the supporting characters that's black and female, And she is a pretty cool character. She's a fairly strong character in her own right, and does some pretty kick-ass stuff. So I do strongly recommend checking this out if you haven't. And like I said, it's pretty good. Worth the viewing. So, and as always, be a good human. Be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?